This is Jonathan Aguilar here for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Henry Garcia, coach
Right.
and dad of Ryan and Sean, of course. Henry, how are we doing?
Oh, we're doing great, man. Like I said, the weather's great out here, and we're loving it.
Great stuff. How's life been? It's obviously been a week or two since Ryan's victory over Luke Campbell in Texas, and what a fight it was to be a part of, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was great. It's like a roller coaster right now because, we got so many interviews and everything's going up, everything's coming down. It's beautiful. I mean, we're loving it, we're enjoying it, and we hope that we continue this success.
Absolutely. Before we talk a bit more about Ryan and everyone is, as you say, talking about the lightweights at the moment, let's talk a bit about yourself, because I know people know you as a boxing coach and, you've brought your son up to the point he is now, but you're not just a boxing coach, are you?
Absolutely not. No, actually, I'm also a professional jazz piano player, and I'm also a very good tennis player. So there's other qualities that I have that I enjoy. I never, like to show it so as much as I do boxing, because boxing is my passion. But if there's anything that I have for myself, is piano.
Where did that all start? Because I've seen a few of your Instagram posts where you've posted a few clips and things. Where did that all start? And has that transferred to your sons at all?
Well, what it was is that people know who I am, the ones that are close to me, and they always tell me, "Hey, play something," So when I play something for them, I like to jazz it up, and they're like, "Hey, I like that. Can you put that on video?" And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but it's all good. It's just for fun. It's a good hobby to have.
Hmm. How long have you
And
played it for? How long have you been professional?
I was a professional when I came to Los Angeles. So when I was like 20 something years old, I became a professional. I joined the music union. I got hired as a musician. So they would send me different locations to go ahead and play. I sometimes would play in people's houses and private events, and it was really nice. I mean, I really enjoyed it. So it was back in the day, but now I just do it for my own enjoyment. You know.
Where have you? Do Ryan and Sean play it at all in their spare time?
Well, Ryan does. When Ryan wants to learn something, he'll say, "Hey, Dad, can you teach me?" And I'll teach him, and he'll pick it up. He doesn't sight read as I do. But um, you don't have to become a piano player just because you don't know how to sight read. You could just learn off visual, and he does that. He tends to do that very well, by the way.
Interesting. How well does he play? Because I don't know if so many people know that.
Well, he's a beginner, but I tell you, if you ask him to play that song "Let Him In" by Paul McCartney and Wings, he'll play it really nice.
Brilliant.
Uh,
When did you actually arrive in the US?
what was that?
When did you
I didn't.
arrive in the US?
Well, I was here in the early '80s. I was here in the '80s. I was originally from Chicago. That's where I grew up. I came to Los Angeles. I finished college, and my major was music composition. So I also write music too. And I guess on one of the next episodes that you're going to see of Ryan, they're going to show me playing the piano and what I can do with it, and they're going to love it.
Mm.
So, but from that point, I was also a boxer. you know, I was a boxer because I started in Chicago with my brother. My brother, he's the one who started it all. So he and I came to California. We continue our boxing career. And then from that point, I realized that I'd rather, just hold off for a moment because I wasn't as good as Ryan when he first started. So I ended up becoming a musician, concentrating on that. Went to college, and finished that. And, things just happened from that point.
When did you realize that both of your sons could first box? When did they both enter the gym or start even just hit one pad or bag?
Well, my wife explains that better. Well, she had said that she was watching the Ninja Turtles at the time. You know how the Ninja Turtles were always hitting each other and fighting each other. You know, well, the kids will imitate them at times. And she was just laying down on the couch and she would see them really hit, you know, fast and defend themselves. And she goes, hey, they're pretty good with their hands. So from that point, you know, my brother looked at Ryan and said, hey, you know, we might have something here. And that's how it all started.
Because I remember seeing a video that Ellie Setback posted years ago,
Yeah.
where I think he met with Ryan when he was maybe 13, 14, and he'd already been like a 9-time national champion.
Yeah.
That was at
Yeah.
like 14. What do you remember as your early memories of Ryan?
Well, what happens when you start them young, they tend to enjoy it, and you give them the opportunity to take them to tournaments, to show fights, you know, and that's what I did with them. I took them everywhere. I mean, I sacrificed a lot of things for them, and I would take them from city to city, you know, sometimes state to state. It was beautiful, and they loved it. They had no complaints about it. You know, that door that just opened right now, that was Ryan. He's
all
here.
right, he was there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to ask, what do you remember sort of your earliest memory though of him boxing or a tournament or?
Well, what really excited me about Ryan and Sean is that their interest in it, and they kept on staying on task. That's the key. When you don't have to force it. So remember something. If you don't force anything on your kid and they inspire you by their interest, then it's going to work. But if it's the other way around, where the parent wants it more than the son, then it's not going to work out. So always remember that. And what I saw with Ryan and Sean is that I saw them wanting it and wanting it and wanting. I was like, wow. It's like you couldn't stop. You couldn't stop Ryan from shadowboxing. To this day, he sometimes shadowboxes every day. So it never stopped. So that's what really caught my attention, and one of the best memories I have of Ryan and Sean. They loved it.
Did they have any other, and this might be a better question for them, but did they have any interests outside of boxing?
Yeah, well, Sean did. Sean wanted to play baseball at one time. Ryan wanted to play basketball, but for short spurts. But Sean actually got on the baseball team, and he went back. He reverted back to boxing. But Ryan was like 100% boxing. I mean, it was like there was no nothing else. He's a good basketball player, by the way. He's a very good basketball player. Oh my God, he's very good, very good. Trust me when I say he is very good in basketball.
Might be a post-career after boxing, huh?
No. It's just he loves it. It's a sport, just like I love tennis. You know.
Yeah.
No.
In the amateurs, you mentioned going to tournaments and things, and I know that he fought Devin Haney a couple of times, or maybe I think even 6 times. What do you remember from those sort of times?
It was actually 5, and
5.
Ryan had beaten him 3 times, and Devin Haney beat him twice. Very, very competitive on both sides. And what I remembered is that if you're not 100% focused with Devin, he is going to beat you. But I also noticed about Ryan, when Ryan is totally 100% on anything.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Oh, look who's here. Look who's here.
Champ. How's it going, Champ?
How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, thanks. We're just talking about your rivalry with Devin Haney in the amateurs.
How was it?
What's the score?
Truthfully, 3-3. Yeah.
I thought it was 3-2, but
No, 3-3. But if you want to count when we're older, he's up by 1. But I mean, who really cares about the amateurs if you really think about it? Who has learned? Who's done it in the pros, right? So you have to look at that. People look too much into how you used to be instead of how you are now. But they'll see. They'll see. I will knock out Haney too.
see,
Nice
there you
little
have it.
cameo from Ryan there. I wanted to just touch on something else. It's quite interesting that Ryan, you're with Eddie Reynoso now in Canelo Alvarez's camp. What's the dynamic like with that? Because one thing I found quite fascinating from watching the fight was yourself was translating for Ryan in the corner. And it's quite interesting. How does the whole dynamic work?
Well, the way it works is that Eddie and I, we know boxing very well. We know each other. We know the in and outs of boxing. And we're the ones that have to remain calm. And we have to keep everything on the level. In tough situations like the second round when that occurred. But we're so in tune that I have to translate almost immediately what he is saying to Ryan. And sometimes I'll put in my input after Eddie is finished. But we work good as a team. Him and I, there's no other way but him and I. No other way.
How do you remain so calm as a coach? Because as you mentioned, the second round when Ryan got dropped, you were all so calm in that corner.
Well, I stayed calm so that my son can stay calm, because I know my son's ability. I know if he's conditioned, he's well conditioned, he's not going to stay down. He's going to get right back up. I know that. The only thing that I was concerned about is his legs. If when he got up, because he got up so quickly, I thought that, well, that was his instinct, his first instinct. But my concern was his legs, if his legs will hold up, because, sometimes the mind can say, get up, but the body is going to say a different thing. And just like when he dropped Campbell, his mind was saying, get up, but the body is not going to respond. So that's what you got to look for. You got to look for what the body is saying. It's hard to explain, but hope it makes sense.
And what did you see from the body? Because Ryan got up so quickly and composed himself.
Ryan got back up. I looked at his legs. They weren't wobbly. He just needed to recoup for a few more seconds, like 10, 15 more seconds, and then he was fine. And I knew that. And, but he was very alert. He was still alert at that moment. So that's why it was a good thing that Luke didn't go and attack him the way people should have said, well, he should have went after Ryan. No. Ryan was still coherent. His legs were still good. His mind was good. He just realized, hey, I got dropped. I got back up. Let's move on. So that's something dangerous. You got to be careful.
Talk to me about the emotion that you went through when Ryan scored that body shot, which finished the fight, because you all celebrated. It was a huge fight and you won the fight at that point. Just describe the emotion in the aftermath when that happened.
It's hard to describe because it's the best feeling in the world that anybody can have as a father and as an assistant trainer as well. It's the best feeling because it's something that you've worked so hard so many years, and when it got to that point where he's accomplished what he wanted as well, I was like, wow. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the feeling, the emotion that went through, because from when he got dropped in the second round, and then just to come back the way he did, it's like it never happened. And when it happened, it was just an awesome moment. And that goes to prove perseverance, and that's a true champion right there.
I mean, Luke Campbell's very complimentary of yourselves afterwards. I just want to know what you made of Luke Campbell, and if you had any conversations with him the next day, is what he said.
Yeah, I respect Luke Campbell as a person and as a boxer. He's excellent. He's very technical. He is somebody that surprised me because he's so good. But then again, he's an Olympic, gold Olympian, so of course he's going to be good, But what he did in the ring, he was just totally prepared. And that just worried me just a little bit because I was thinking, wow, this guy prepared for this fight very well, just like my son did. And when you got two people preparing so well, there's going to be a little gap. And one of them is going to find it. Luke found it in the second round. Ryan found it in the fifth and in the seventh. You recall the fifth round?
Yeah.
The last couple of seconds? Yeah. He almost dropped him in the fifth, but he was saved by the bell. So Ryan saw that opportunity. He sees the opportunity. Then sixth round, he went after him. I think he outpunched himself a little bit, so he had to hold back. But then in the seventh round, he regained his momentum, and that's when he knew. He goes, okay, here it comes. Boom. And I just ended it.